So that's Elvis Presley, 1956, that piece of information that he's only able to be shown from the waist upwards. I want to use that, link forward to our next person in our chain, who in 1979, 23 years later, was also not allowed to be shown on the television from the waist upwards. You might think 1979 things have, improved or a bit more permissive after the 60s and 70s. No, and I'll explain why. 1979 is the UNICEF Year of the Child. UNICEF, the United Nations Emergency Fund for Children. It's a massive charity campaign for the whole of the 12 months of 1979, and it's kicked off by David Frost, the broadcaster, who had got together all the top pop stars of the day to donate songs and royalties for a charity record, and also play at a gala performance in New York City, at the United Nations building in New York City, that would then be beamed all around the world. Not just to the first world, not just to America and say Europe, but to the third world, where they hadn't seen those kind of shows before. Africa, maybe South America, the Middle East, certainly the Far East, Indonesia, developing world, the more devout parts of the world, if you will, who, and the people at United Nations thought it was a very good idea because they would raise a lot of money, but they were a little bit worried about, let's just say, the tightness of some of the trousers of the people that would be performing, because the head of the top of the bill were the Bee Gees. And the Bee Gees, who just owned the charts in 1978, 1979, they were either had performed or written every top 10 hit in 1978 all the way through. If it wasn't them, it was all the Saturday Night Fever stuff. It was songs that they wrote for their brother, Andy Gibb. It was songs they wrote for Yvonne Elliman, Tavares, Candy Staton. They just owned the charts. And they were top of the bill, and they gave, in perpetuity, all of their songwriters' royalties for their latest single, which was called Too Much Heaven. You might remember that song. So since 1979, they have not earned any songwriting royalties from that. They've all gone to UNICEF, and they've raised that's about $25 million as of now, which I think is pretty cool, actually. ABBA, they were also on the bill, also terrifically successful in the 1970s. They gave half of the royalties, not quite as generous, half of the royalties to their new single, which was called Chiquitita. You remember that one? And that's raised about $6 or $7 million, which is not to be sniffed at, but they never really sold as many records as the Bee Gees, but then no one did. Other people on the bill, you've got Donna Summer, she's very successful at the time. Olivia Newton-John, she's maybe 4 months after that Grease movie, which was just everywhere.